So Lush have just launched on ASOS and it's kind of bizarre. It's kind of weird. I thought it was a bit weird. So I was at my housemate and she was on ASOS and she was like, oh my gosh, Lush is on here. And I was like, what? Are you sure? It's not often she's the one to tell me news about Lush. Lo and behold, Lush are on ASOS. I haven't heard anything about it either, which is also odd. Normally I'm kind of aware of what's going on Lush. Not only did the PR keep me up to date, but I've also got news alerts on them, so it's very weird that I was not aware. Yeah, they're on ASOS, they have launched, and it's just weird. You know, Lush are the pinnacle, not the pinnacle of ethics, let's not put them on that high pedestal, but you know what I mean. When we talk about sustainable brands, they are at the forefront of a lot of people's minds because they are so ethical. To see them on ASOS, who are one of the key villains of fast fashion, potentially, I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit over dramatic. It wouldn't be the first time. So I did a post about it and I've been quite busy today. You'll see on the vlog. Yeah, I've been paddleboard litter cleaning up today. I had quite a few different responses on my Instagram, so it would be quite interesting to kind of like talk about the two different sides of the argument. But first off, my initial reaction was like, oh my gosh, how did I not know about this? And then two, I was just a bit like, that's weird. And then I thought, oh, that might be quite helpful for reaching new customers, because I know a lot of people shop on ASOS more so than ever, and a lot of people have that free delivery, whereas I know it can be quite expensive to deliver from Lush. I've done it myself and I've been put off by the postage before myself, so I understand that's an issue. So if it means more people are gonna like use shampoo bars and other Lush products because they are on ASOS, that's a good thing, right? And I think there will be more people who aren't really Lushies who may venture into Lush just because they've got the free delivery. And they're not the first like sustainable brand to go on ASOS either. There are a few sustainable brands on ASOS. The thing is just that Lush are very selective. They aren't sold anywhere other than Lush stores, is what I thought until now, where it's ASOS. I have emailed the PR. I have not heard back from them yet, but I did only email them today. I think it's unreasonable for me to expect a full-blown reply already, but it's weird. And then the other thing that I thought immediately was like, oh, how clear is it what's vegan? So I'm looking at the bundles. They do shampoo bars and they've also got a few bundles going. And unfortunately, the bundles just don't look too particularly vegan. I was looking through them and in a couple of them, I'd see something like Ultra Bland, which I know is a vegetarian thing. So I kind of went on to a couple of the bundle pages to see if it was very clear what's vegan and what's not, and it just wasn't that clear. And I'm like, that's not that helpful, ASOS, because it's very clear on the Lush website. So if you were interested in buying the bundles on ASOS, you would have to cross-reference with Lush to find out which bundles and which products were vegan. So that's a bit annoying. But anyway, yeah, let's go on to the comments. First up, I have someone saying this is a really weird move for Lush, clearly based on finances rather than ethics. Then they further went on to elaborate that they think that Lush want the 16 to 30ish market to spend more money with them, which is fine, but to do it via a fast fashion company is weird. As a company that preaches ethics all day long, completely agree with that. It's such a weird collaboration, and it's literally just because Lush are so famed for their ethics and for being selective and really caring about who they work with, and then to see them launch with ASOS, it's very jarring. I feel super uncomfortable about it. I'm not saying I never shop at ASOS, but I feel guilty when I do. So it's like, it's weird. Someone else is saying that they're a bit freaked out, not sure why Lush did this. I think that's how a lot of us feel. Another person, slightly weird partnership given how awful ASOS are, and literally everyone being like, yeah, this. And then Less Waste Laura, I know she is a big fan of Lush. We also visited the Lush factories together a couple years ago. She was just really upset by the news. Really Lush teaming up with such a huge detrimental brand like ASOS. Yeah, kind of how we all feel. Okay, I've got an alternative view here. I try and think of it like oat milk being in the supermarket rather than in a health food store. Making it accessible to everyone brings up the brand with people who might not engage otherwise, and encourage people to make best choices through making it easier to do so. Now, I actually do really agree with this point when it comes to sustainable brands being on ASOS. I do love seeing sustainable brands on ASOS. I love having it just being that little bit easier for me to buy those brands, especially because ASOS, I think, are one of the easiest brands to do returns for. So when it comes to shopping online and shopping from the eco brands, I would rather do it from a retailer like ASOS. As a consumer, I just find it simpler. I kind of know what I'm getting myself into, stuff like that. And so I actually do agree quite a bit with that argument. I think the issue is that Lush are just famously super selective and super ethical about who they work with. This is why it's particularly jarring. I'm not that hurt when I see other sustainable brands do it, but because of Lush being so strict, and because I don't think I've ever seen them sell anywhere else before, for them to choose to do it with ASOS, it's weird, really unnerving. I'm not gonna boycott them over this, but I'm really keen to hear their reasoning behind it. I don't know. Yeah, another person, more ethical brands on ASOS, the better, and clapping. I completely agree with that. The more ethical brands on ASOS, the better, but it is also a shame that ASOS just peddles fast fashion so bad with all of their sales and emails, and they're always pressuring you to buy stuff you don't need, and this is what I hate about ASOS. I really recommend unsubscribing from their emails if you're on their mailing list. I know a lot of us have ended up there. Someone said that they find it odd that you can buy LUSH off of ASOS considering you can buy off of LUSH's website. Am I missing something? Like, why do they need to be on ASOS as well? And this is where someone's commented, lots of people have free ASOS delivery subscription or whatever, so that makes shipping cheaper. And that, I think, is definitely a good argument. ASOS is such a go-to retailer for so many people, and so many people have that free shipping, so yeah. Someone joked Primark collab next, hopefully never. I don't like joking about that. Just a lot of people saying it's an odd collaboration, and I 100% agree. Then we have someone commenting that a lot of staff are a bit befuddled at the choice, but also curious because adapting could future-proof us as a retail store. Very interested to see how trials like this go. And then someone was like, I don't understand. I would think more conventional online shopping make retail stores less viable. I have definitely trekked to LUSH when I wanted one or two things, but then the original commenter said, oh, it's a double-edged sword, but it seems to be a good way to introduce new people to the brand or to suit independent shoppers be more accessible. Online sales are also usually significantly more profitable, but they also wish that they didn't go through ASOS. I just don't understand how it happens. Just LUSH are so selective. How did it happen? And I guess there's a part of me that feels like a little bit like upset by it. I think just because LUSH have such high ethics. So for those of you who don't know, one of LUSH's high ethics is that they don't pay for advertising. They never have, whether it's a billboard in a newspaper, on TV, or paying influencers. I've never been paid for any work I've done for LUSH. I've been gifted a lot of stuff and I'm hugely grateful for it. I love the company because they are so ethical, but to see them kind of swiveling on their ethics like that when you've got small businesses like influencers not getting paid, it makes me feel a type of way. And I don't feel a huge way about it, but I do feel a subtle type of way about it. Come on, if you're going to compromise on any ethics, just pay the ethical influencers that do so much to promote your stuff. Disclaimer though, they don't ask me to do work, they just offer to send me stuff, but just FYI. And I have no problem with that relationship with LUSH because it's very consistent. When they say they don't spend money on advertising, they mean it. It's not like we don't do influencer advertising. It's been a core part of their values since the get-go, but it's like clearly they're adapting some of their values, so it'll be interesting. And then someone else commented, I saw this when I was looking for something on ASOS yesterday and I thought I was going crazy because it seems so strange and I hadn't seen anything about it online. I can't see that LUSH have even mentioned it. And you know what? This is a key point as well. I haven't seen LUSH talk about it and I haven't seen the news about it. And I'm just like, are we trying to keep this secret? Are we thinking that no one sustainable goes on ASOS so no one sustainable will know? But I feel very fortunate that I'm someone that lives near a LUSH, and if you don't live near a LUSH, this is making some of the products a lot more accessible to you. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think down below, because it's definitely quite a big news story in the LUSH sphere, which you wouldn't think would be such a big sphere, but we're very passionate customers and we always have thoughts and opinions when LUSH do anything different. So I would love to hear what you guys think. Is anyone boycotting them over this? I'm just curious and I really want to hear what the brand have to say about it, and I find it very weird that they don't already have a press statement prepped, because I'm sure they anticipated backlash from this. Hello, it is the next morning and I was actually wrong about the press statement. They do have a press statement. This was sent across to me from Portia Bakes Vegan. They're actually a small business that does really cool little wholesale event celebration cakes, and they also do an afternoon tea package which looks delicious. So yeah, a little bit of a small business shout out here. Portia messaged me just saying, I just saw your post and thought I would forward over this statement LUSH released the other day. And this was posted on the 2nd of June, so I feel a bit foolish that I missed this. Saying that on the 7th of June 2021 we will be launching 17 LUSH product kits plus 4 shampoo bars for sale on ASOS. ASOS is a British online fashion and cosmetic retailer. The website sells over 850 brands as well as its own range of clothing and accessories, and ships all over the world. This will be one of the first times we've partnered with another company to sell products and reach potentially massive new audiences. Our boxes will be available to ship to all countries except for MENA and partner market countries. A year in the making, this collaboration aims to help put LUSH where the customers are and leave them loving LUSH and embracing the products and ethics that drive us. And then there is a section, why ASOS? We are all familiar with the secret LUSH master plan, and we all know we want to be #1 in every category, help create a cosmetic revolution and leave the world lusher than we found
around it. But we also know we cannot do that alone. By growing a network of people and brands, we will increase our reach and our ability to achieve our plan. Active users on ASOS amount to over 24 million compared to LUSH's 1.5 million. Like selecting a prominent high street or shopping centre, we know ASOS is a prominent digital marketplace where customers in their millions are shopping. So we wanted to trial selling a selection of our hero products, and those items we know should be hero ones on there. The aim is to introduce the ASOS audience to wonderful, effective LUSH products and hopefully make them curious to learn more about our other products and us as a business. As Mark has previously stated, for the sake of the environment, we need to be #1 in the cosmetics industry. They go on to explain that Ethical Consumer gives ASOS an ethics score of 8. It's one of the highest scores of all clothing brands in the report. ASOS are in the top 10% of UK companies who have a handle on what's happening with their supply chains. In comparison, John Lewis Clothing gets a 5, M&S and Next get a 6, Zara gets an 8, and Patagonia at the top of the table gets a 12/13. LUSH is rated a 12. They consulted Ethical Consumer for their opinions on the partnership, and LUSH is currently having conversations with counterparts in ASOS to see if the two companies can learn from each other's strengths and best practices across several areas. So I'll leave that link down below. I find it interesting. I don't know how I feel about that statement. I'm very shocked to hear that ASOS have a higher score than M&S. Curious to learn a bit more about those rankings, but yeah, there is some insight into the minds of LUSH. I'm happy that I've got that to include in this video. Also, just like a little note, sorry, you can't get the whole LUSH store on ASOS. It's not like everything's available. There are just like select few products, select few bundles. It seems very geared to enticing new customers, so I do definitely get that angle of it, and I understand encouraging people who otherwise would not go into LUSH to start shopping LUSH is definitely a good thing sustainably wise. Anyway, yeah. Okay, thank you guys so much. Please do hit like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a lovely day and goodbye.